Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, CULLINANTHERAPEUTICSINC just filed a Form 8K, and I am seeing some very interesting early data that could be a big deal. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company is sharing initial results from a key drug trial, and the early signs for treating lupus and rheumatoid arthritis look promising, especially with how it affects B cells. Alright, let's dive into what Cullinan Therapeutics Inc. has shared. This filing is all about their drug CLN-978 and how it is performing in early stage clinical trials, specifically targeting really tough cases of rheumatoid arthritis and systemic lupus erythematosus. These are conditions where patients have already tried other treatments and they did not work very well. The company presented this information at a big medical conference called EULAR. First off, they put out a press release on the 6th of June 2026. This is basically them sharing important information with everyone at the same time, which is what Regulation FD is all about. They are highlighting the initial clinical data from their phase 1 trials. We are looking at the OUTRACE trials. One for rheumatoid arthritis, or RA, and another for systemic lupus erythematosus, or SLEL. The drug they are testing is CLN-978. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of what they found in these trials. They shared data as of May 15, 2026, looking at 29 patients who were part of these early trials. This table here gives us a snapshot of how many patients were in different parts of the studies looking at safety, what the drug does to the body, which they call pharmacodynamics or PD, and if it actually works to make patients better, which is efficacy. Let's break down the cell or systemic lupus erythematosus part first. In the CELLAR trial, they looked at 18 patients across different dose levels. They saw some pretty encouraging things. For instance, in patients who had at least 4 weeks of follow-up, a good chunk of them, 71% to be exact, saw a significant drop in their disease activity. What is even more exciting is that 5 of those patients actually reached what they call DORIS remission, which is a very deep level of recovery. Beyond just how patients feel, the lab results were also positive. Key markers that show lupus is active, like anti-dsDNA, UPSC3, and C4, all got better in patients who had high levels of these markers at the start. This suggests the drug is tackling the disease at a biological level. Perhaps one of the most striking findings is what CLN-978 does to B cells. These are a type of white blood cell involved in the immune system. The drug caused a really big reduction, over 80% in B cell counts in a large majority of patients who took a single dose. And this reduction of B cells, which is a core part of how this drug is thought to work, was seen in half of the patients who received the higher doses of 20 micrograms or more. This deep depletion is a key mechanism the company is highlighting. Now let's switch to the rheumatoid arthritis or RA patients. In this group, 11 patients were evaluated. Similar to the SLED trial, they saw improvements in disease activity. Out of 7 patients with high disease activity at the start, 6 of them showed improvement. 1 patient even achieved remission, which is a great outcome, especially considering how tough these diseases can be to treat. Another important point for RA is autoantibodies, which are the body attacking itself. CLN-978 successfully reduced these harmful autoantibodies. Importantly, it did this without affecting protective vaccine titers, meaning it did not seem to interfere with the body's ability to fight off actual infections. This is a crucial balance to strike in treating autoimmune diseases. And just like in the CELL trial, they also observed significant B cell depletion in the RA patients. 2/3 of patients who received doses of 20 micrograms or higher experienced a deep depletion of B cells, even to the point where they were below the limit of quantification, or what they call block. This deep B cell hitting effect is consistent across both studies. Let's talk about safety. This is always a big question in early trials. The good news is that CLN-978 was generally well tolerated. In the tested dose ranges, including a multi-dose regimen, patients did not experience severe side effects. However, there was a side effect called cytokine release syndrome, or CRS, which happened in about 38% of patients. Most of these cases were mild grade 1 and typically occurred after the first dose. There was one instance of a more serious grade 3 CRS after a higher dose of 45 micrograms because of this. They stopped enrolling patients in that specific higher dose group and planned to adjust how they give higher doses in multi-dose studies. This is a common practice when you see a signal like this in early trials. Crucially, they did not observe any immune effector cell associated neurotoxicity syndrome, which is a serious potential side effect with some immune modulating drugs. This is a very positive sign for the drug's safety profile. As is standard in these filings, they include a section on forward-looking statements. This is essentially a disclaimer that the future is uncertain and actual results may differ from predictions. They mention that the data presented is interim, meaning it is not the final word, and that as more patients are studied and followed, these results could change. It is important to remember that early trial data is just a piece of a larger puzzle. What strikes me here is the consistent and profound B-cell depletion across both lupus and rheumatoid arthritis patients. This drug is clearly hitting its target, the fact that they are seeing clinical responses, deep B-cell depletion, and it is generally well tolerated even with that one CRS event that they are managing, makes CLN-978 look like a very promising candidate for patients who have run out of options. The market has definitely taken notice with recent positive headlines surrounding this data. The risk I am watching is how they manage the CRS events as they move to higher doses and larger patient populations. My biggest concern is always the long-term efficacy and safety profile, which we will only know with more extensive phase 2 and phase 3 trials. That is my take. Stay decoded if you want the broker and charting tools I use. They are in the description, affiliate links that support the channel. Like this video, comment with your thoughts, subscribe for more, and join our Discord community.